What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to this new video. Today we're here for PSGL again, as most of the time. This is the penultimate round of the season, so yeah, we're in Silverstone, which usually is not one of my better tracks, but it's alright. Yeah, it's not a great track for me, but not too bad either. As my PB going into the session wasn't very good at all. Well, it was solid, but not great. It was a 0.300, which I knew would not be probably not be in contention for pole, but you never know. People might throw away their laps and somehow you'll still be in contention. So now in the first lap in this quali, first sector 961, which is pretty solid for first run. As also quite interesting to note is that at the end of this qualifying session it will start to rain. So the first two laps will be important as you might not be able to get a third run in. Um, at this time, I didn't really know that yet, but yeah, it's been a very good banker anyway so far. So now we're going through Maggots and Beckett's, pretty solid. Um, yeah, nothing bad, just yeah, very solid for banker. So 5-2-1 split is very good for banker. So now into the final sector, probably the hardest sector. So yeah, just not a lot of speed carried. It looked fine, but yeah, it was quite slow. And now into the final chicane, we brake a bit too late. We missed the apex of the first one, and then the second one, yeah, turn to the right gets compromised a bit. So yeah, we still do a 0.498 lap, which is still very good for a banker. Um, as I've said for a banker like 500 times already, but yeah, as you'll see, it's a lot darker now. So yeah, this will be our final run in this quali, most likely. Um, so yeah, we'll need to get a good lap in as we're still in P4, so that's still very good. So yeah, first sector, braking for turn 3, and not doesn't look too bad, bit wide maybe. As the second one is also, yeah, it's not great, but we can still improve. We know there's a lot of time on the final sector, but yeah, it's not ideal, but we'll give it a all. I knew there was some time in Lovefield as well, so now Brooklyn, pretty nice, and into Lovefield. Um, yeah, we do line up the exit, but we get a little bit of moment and we have to delay the throttle. So we lose even more time as that was one of the corners I knew was quite some time in. So yeah, this was a bit disappointing. So cops easy flat obviously, and into Maggots and Beckett's we go. 7th gear for the first one, then stay in 7th for the second one. Use a lot of the inside there, and go to 6th for the last one, and you lose even more time. It's yeah, been pretty scruffy this lap, but we know this time in the last sector. And still, again, not really nailing it. We took a lot more speed, but yeah, we didn't get a lot of time. So now the final chicane though, first apex is a lot nicer, the exit is a lot nicer. Bit wide maybe on the exit, but it was a good final chicane, and we gain I think 5,000 on our previous lap.
Jij en
So
Daniel, jullie
yeah,
allebei
not
sowieso
ideal.
insoft
There
aan
was a
het
lot more in
blijven.
it, but still we qualified P6, and I was pretty satisfied with that because my qualies haven't been great this season. As always, pretty much, and quali is something I was looking to improve, and P6 is very solid. As now we're already heading into the race, as we're starting on the medium tire, as pretty much everyone behind us, apart from Rich and Jacobs, and the top
Meer de
four
mensen op
is on the
mediums
soft
zitten.
tire. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. As we have a good start, we're up the inside of Reese into turn 1. But yeah, we can't really make a move on him. As we're trying now to outbrake him into turn 3, but yeah, he breaks later around the outside of Kian. As now Russian Jacobs on softs is ahead of us. It's just a little bit of contact and Reese pushes us a little bit, but yeah, nothing major. As we're using to defend from Russian, because I did kind of want to stay ahead of him,
Terwijl je kan verdedigen
if
tegen die
possible. But
softwares.
yeah, it was going to be very difficult. But we'll try to keep him behind. So yeah, obviously everyone's quite bunched up now, and it will be difficult to keep Christian behind because he'll be doing everything he can to try and get moves done, as people are already moving out of the slipstream to cool their engine. But yeah, here on this exit, just see Rishan starts using, and he just decides to go for it into Maggots Beckett's, which I mean he did make a good move on me, but yeah, I mean, it was quite risky. It was a pretty interesting way to go for an overtake. It's now Joost
De
is
gewoon positie
trying to
echt.
attack us, but
Geen gevaar
we
voor.
managed to stay ahead into Stowe.
Bijna iedereen zit
But
nu
our Stowe wasn't very good, so Joost is
bijna de
in
hele
our
tijd.
gearbox as we defend the inside, and we move a little bit to the right at the end. Was it a little bit naughty? But yeah, he did keep his position, and
Let
yeah,
op
it
dat je
was
niet te
just
laat
on the
wordt
edge
gepikt.
of the regulations. Probably a bit
Oh,
unfair
links.
for me, but I don't think it hampered one of our races in the end. So yeah, and didn't get reported for it. So yeah, we got
Ik
away
ben
with that.
langzaam voor moves gaan kijken, Tip.
As now we're on to lap 5, and
Minimaal
Russian is
zijn beter dan
still
soms.
in P5, so he hasn't made a lot of places. As he now gets a moment on this exit, and I really want to get past. As Reese is now gonna get past, he uses his battery, gets alongside. Nothing Russian can do really. Um, but yeah, now we need to get past him as well because we want to be yeah, as far ahead as possible, obviously. So now his tires have dropped off quite a bit. The softs did start to degrade a bit. So we're gonna use our battery to see if we can go for an overtake. As turn 3 is probably a pretty good position
Out of the floor.
to launch an attack. As now we're gonna use some of our battery, go wider line and send it up the inside. He
Ja,
does
iets van.
keep it around the outside and make a tiny bit of contact, but he's fighting it quite hard still. As yeah, you just pushed me off track, which I mean was kind of fair enough. But now we're gonna use our battery, get alongside, and we turn off our battery, and then Joost gets up the inside. So yeah, this was very good job from Joost, but we're trying to keep the position. And yeah, we'll try and use our battery here on this exit to stay ahead. But we have the inside line into cops, so we should be alright here. As now we're gonna go into cops, and I do understand to him, and I do push him off the track. So yeah, this
Ja,
wasn't really fair. So on this exit, we will lift off and
kan er niet
turn
bij duwen.
off our DRS. So yeah, Joost can get past us because um, yeah, it wasn't really fair for me, and I didn't want to get penalized, obviously. Yeah, we did realize that this was probably going to be a penalty for me, so we let him go. And yeah, this was pretty disastrous for my race that I'm now behind Joost because you really want to be the second or
Weet trouwens
first
niet of
car
dat komt door de
on your
doodgereden
strategy,
in de
and now
stint,
we're
maar
obviously
het
the
leek
third
erop
car.
alsof Reese jou over de
So
toog
yeah,
gooide.
it's quite critical
Ja, het
for
was
a
mooi van de
race
twee.
that we get back into the second position in our strategy group.
Hij deed
But
richting
now on this
één
lap, you'll see lap
optie.
10, all of the software runners bid on the exact same lap, so no one doing something different, which was quite interesting. I expected maybe someone to undercut or
Christian op zijn
someone
plek
to
gaat.
do a lap longer, but yeah, everyone just did the same thing. So yeah, interesting. But now we need to focus on our strategy, obviously. As yeah, like I said, we really need to get into that second position if we wanna, yeah, if we wanna do something on the softs at the end, because the tire advantage will be big.
Bleef
But
maar
if
door
there's not a
tot
lot
de
of
muur toe.
fighting in the front runners group, then it will be hard to catch them still. As now Reese Linton overtakes Joost as he's gonna peel into the pit lane, so does Lenny Pinter behind us. As I think they were trying to work together.
Volgens mij
I
blijft
think they were
Jules steeds onder met ik.
yeah, working together in,
Zo,
I don't know if
godver,
they
je
were
zit
in
er
a
binnen gewoon
call,
hem
but
even
I
inhalen
think
in de
this is
pit, of
definitely
zie je?
planned from them to go on the
Hij
same
zit
lap
nog in
so
de
they could
vergelijking.
work together. But lap 14 is quite early, if I'm going to be honest. With the softs at the end,
Ja, dat is niet erg.
it will be very difficult to make moves, and yeah, I don't think this was the right choice for them.
Ah, ik word opgehouden.
This didn't really feel like they were doing the strategy to win the race, more like to keep their position and maybe gain one or two places. But yeah, I think with the strategy they are doing, there's going to be no chance of
Die
them
wil ook
winning the
deze
race,
ronde.
which was a bit strange to me. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll have to deal with them later on.
Jules maar.
As yeah, we're using quite a lot of our battery. So is Joost. You can see he's pulling away, and we're also using. So yeah, this does show that he's also using his battery. As we wanted to try and get past
Hier
before the
richting
pit stop,
Q7.
but yeah,
Ja.
Joost most of the time always has a really
Ja.
good race pace. So it was going to be difficult for us to get past, but still we're using battery. So so we can see
dwingt hem ook
if
natuurlijk.
we can get past. But yeah, it wasn't really gonna happen.
Best wel.
So we turned off our battery, decided to save it. We know we're gonna recover quite a bit into pits because it's a very long pit lane, and in
Ja, ik
Silverstone you
moest
just
tot
recover a
50.
lot of euros in the pits. As now into the pit lane, obviously don't want to speed, one of the easiest pit lanes to speed in. So yeah, we're very careful. We leave quite a big gap to Joost, so and yeah, Andre is right on our
Je
back,
zou ook
so
in de pit worden door één
um,
iemand
on
tegen.
pit exit will be a bit closer to Andre than
Ja,
Joost, but I
nou, het
think
is
we
niet
should
erg.
be alright. So
Jullie
obviously going
zullen
onto the
mensen
soft
moeten
tires,
vinden
and I
en
don't think no one of our train had stayed out.
gewoon
So
samenwerken.
again,
Dat
also
je
with the
swapt
medium
op
runners, there were two undercutters, but
wegstreek.
still most people went on this lap, on the same lap. So now we're gonna get out of the pit lane obviously and see where we come out. If we get in some traffic, hopefully we don't obviously. And I think we will be just ahead of the traffic. Yeah, we will be of the people undercutting. So yeah, this was good for our race. Andre is very close, but yeah, we're still on DRS of Joost, and as long as we don't make any
Best wel.
very big mistakes, we will be fine with staying in his DRS, as we used a little bit for DRS and already quite comfortably in. And on the left top, you can see that the gap to Lenny and Reese is
Oké, als
2.1
het kan,
seconds right now,
nu save
but we have to fresh tires, so we will
Daniel
eventually
en
catch up to them. But as I said, their softs they just weren't gonna last long enough to really go for overtakes. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out later in the race. As the front train is now crossing start finish, or they did a couple seconds ago, but
op dit
so
moment
there's
niet
still
zien
quite a big gap, and in
waar ze
F1,
overtaken.
I think most people went for the medium strategy because in F1,
Overal mensen, dus
PSGL F1, of
zoek
course,
het uit.
the medium soft team superior, but that was also due to a lot of fighting, and I was kind of expecting that fighting to also be happening in our tier, which it was, but not as badly as it was in F1, and you really needed to have good tires to overtake at the end. So yeah, so now Black Box is retired in the pits, and I
Joost heeft
think we
ook een goede
gained
race gepresenteerd trouwens.
one or two positions because people boxed that lap, or were still ahead of us. As yeah, we're in ninth position, so usually I always gain places in a race, but this was one of the first times this season where we're going behind or we're going backwards in the race compared to quali. So yeah, not looking good so far. But we did catch up to the train, and now Reese Linton and is trying to get past people as he is getting past Rishan, and so does Lenny. But yeah, we really need to get past them as well now. As Lenny doesn't really get past. As here I lost force feedback. It was a really weird moment. Um, but
Sorry?
yeah, I lost my force feedback and it kind of screwed me up. But no harm done, luckily. As now Lenny up the inside of Rishan, who gets also overtaken by Joost. So now we also want to get past. So we're gonna use our battery. He is fighting it, which was quite frustrating, but we just go up his inside with a lot more grip. There's quite a wide line, so he's gonna struggle for grip. So now we just go around his outside with these soft tires.
Druk.
But now Lenny and Reese are in the train, and it's gonna be pretty much impossible for me and Joost to overtake them if they don't do anything silly. So yeah, that's really frustrating for us, but
Nee, 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 zeker niet.
we need to do everything we can to try and still make something happen. So yeah, Reese is quite close to the cars ahead, but yeah, he's just not really able to mount an attack, which is a big shame as Russian is still trying to defend from Andre. Um, and now we move on to the penultimate lap, going through Maggots and Beckett. Didn't really get a great exit
Push
here,
maar een beetje.
so I did have to use to defend from Andre, as I also got closer and closer to Joost. But Andre is now going for the overtake, as he is very close to us into Stowe, as you see on this exit, and I knew he was going to send it, so I sent it on Joost, not to overtake him, just to try and defend from Andre, which worked as he had to back out. So yeah, very good racecraft for myself, if I do say so myself. So we did keep that position as Lou Botch is now behind us, and Andre lost a lot of positions with that. As yes, still Reese and Lenny they haven't really overtaken anyone. as I slightly tapped the rear of Joost. Um, so we can't really go for an
Unfortunately,
overtake here because it's
not
going to be a
fitting.
push to pass overtake. But
Yeah,
yeah, as I
and
said
they like
before, I think Lenny and Reese went a lap too early, and I think they also were a bit too cautious, especially Reese, because it did look from my POV like he had some opportunities, but he didn't really go for
yes.
any dives or sends. So yeah,
Uh,
frustrating.
uh,
So now we're using to see if we can have a look up the inside of Cops with Joost because he had a lot of battery left, but yeah, obviously we're not gonna risk that. So yeah, very frustrating, but we're still behind them. And now final straight, we still have a lot of battery left, so we're gonna drain all of it. And then we'll probably start flashing soon, but yeah, it starts a bit too late on the straight for us to be able to do anything. Maybe we can still try and go for the into the chicane, so we do get a little bit closer and slow, but we're just not really far enough. Yeah, far, close enough to them, so we do have a little bit of a look, but Joost defends. And yeah, we end up in eighth position, which
Klopt.
was very frustrating. It does end up being seventh, but this penalty got removed, so yeah, we'll all be in P8. But
Klopt.
yeah, as I said before as well, usually I make up place in the race compared to quali, and this time I lost places, so yeah, I can't really be happy. But for Lenny, it was the right strategy, I think, because he did
Dit
gain
was echt een
positions
van de
with it.
meest
But
rommelige
for Breeze, I
races
think
ooit.
it was better for him to stay out with me and Joost, and so we could have had a chance at the win. You know, he only had to overtake 3 cars to win the race. So yeah, it's very frustrating looking back at it. Said it a couple of times now, but yeah, it is what it is. We do still pick up some points, but yeah, there's still positives to take, especially as well with the qualifying. But yeah, P8 it's gonna be. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Um, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys at the next video I'll make, as I will be trying to upload a lot more soon, because I haven't uploaded a lot for a while now. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys at the next video, and bye bye.